What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. More than 300 of you already know it's the R.E.C. But if you're new around here because you're not subscribed, then I'm the R.E.C. and welcome to Mixdown Mondays. Now, some of you may be asking yourself, what the hell is a mix? But that's alright, because I'm going to tell you. Basically, a mix is, once you've got all your stems, you can see on the screen here, each track, it's kind of, mixing them all together, and you use volume, panning, EQ and compression, which are kind of the basic things, and then you can also add effects, in a production way as well. Maybe it'll fade out or delay out, just put a break in, but also you can use delays in a kind of mixing way, and other effects that you might not use for their primary intent. So pretty much in this series called Mixdown Mondays, going to be happening every other Monday or whatever. I'm basically going to go through a couple of the basics, maybe in 2 or 3 minutes, about what a mix is, top-ups of knowledge that you can hopefully use to improve your mix. That being said, if you think there are any ways that I can improve my mix, I'd definitely like you to share them down in the comments with me, because everyone's always trying to improve. And then also I can share them with you guys if I don't know something. Let's jump into Logic and get down to the first step of making a mix. Here what I've got is a track that I made, and it's an instrumental. Obviously some of you are going to be doing rap mixes and stuff, so you'd have the instrumental like up here, and then vocal tracks, all your doubles and that. And one thing that you're going to have to get used to looking at is the mixer right here. But this episode isn't about that. You saw the title, it's called Exporting Your Stems, because if you're going to send it to someone like me or anyone else that's going to be doing your mix for you, you're going to have to send them the stems, because working with a Logic file is sometimes a bit hard because you don't know what they've done and you just want to hear the music and put your own spin on it if you're mixing it. And also sending things like if you've made it in FL Studio or Ableton, if they don't have that, that's not going to work. So sending stems is definitely the easiest and most bestest way that you can do it. So over here we can see I've got 13 tracks. Well, I'm not using this one, so we'll just delete that. I'm also not using these two, so we can delete those. Anyway, that was probably the first step, cleaning up your mix. So here, if you've got anything, maybe like a bit of noise there that you don't want, then just delete that, because you want your mix engineer to have the easiest time so he can get down to business. Right now they're all in little sections and stuff, and they're all in MIDI, apart from these drum things that I've got, which is audio. But you don't want to send lots of kind of pieces of a puzzle of audio. You want to bounce it all into individual stems. And the way you do that is you just get Logic open, and then you go up here to File. You come down here to Export, and you go all tracks as audio files. You don't have to highlight anything because it's all in the Logic system. Now it's going to tell you to put it into a folder. This one is bounces, but for easiness, I'm just going to go desktop and then make a new folder. Mixing stems, or mixing bounces, or mixing tracks, whatever you want, but they all mean the same thing. This is the thing, and all of these things here, don't really go changing them unless you know and you really want that. Trim, silence, end of file just means that if you've got nothing going on at the end of the file, then obviously it's going to save memory and not going to use that. And the brilliant thing about doing this way is that all of them start at the same point, so that if you're mixing it, you just have to drag all of them in, and no matter where the sound actually starts, like if you've got some kind of fill halfway through the song, it's going to automatically line it up for you. So you want the best quality, a WAV file, and I just go 16-bit for CD quality, because WAV and 16-bit, and then also 44.1 kilohertz sample rate, which I think comes in automatically for a WAV. If you're doing it maybe, or if the person specifically asks for something like that, I do 24-bit, but the reason I do 16-bit most of the time, I already said CD quality, and also samplers and stuff like the MPC use 16-bit, so I'll be dragging it off the MPC, so it'll be 16-bit anyway, so it'll be pointless to drag it up to 24. You won't notice any difference between 16-bit and 24 unless you've got some mega super mad speaker system, but you will notice the difference between 16 and 8, or even 16 and 12. Bypass effect plugins. If you're just recording it, you're not going to have effects on there anyway, but you can do that if you want, if you just want to give the engineer the cleanest, rawest recording ever. Normalize. just keep that normal. Don't know what that means. Let's just press export. It's going to bounce all of them out. You don't have to do anything. Just sit here, wait for a minute or however long it takes. Now we play the waiting game. So over here, I've got my folder mixing stems. And when we go in, it's now going to just call it all of these random things. And let's just check at the end if it has trimmed off all the silence. Yeah, so all of that file is audio. Now, what we want to do now is make it easier for the person mixing it to drag it in. So we're just going to listen to this. So that's pretty obvious that it's the drums. Let's just rename that and we'll just call it drums. Scratch. So now that's obviously a lot easier to understand and you can just drag them in. If I was saving it or anything, I'd just send them this file and they'd be able to drag that in. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you drag it in so you can kind of get a sense of why this is such a good way, an easy way to do it. And we just highlight all 10 tracks, drag them in, create new tracks for all of them. And look at that, it's going to start them all at the same point, so you haven't had to do any lining up. Obviously they finish at different points, but that doesn't matter. So if we play it now, it's obviously going to sound not mixed. Right, so you can hear there that obviously some elements are way too loud. It's clipping, that's because it's not mixed, this is just the raw audio. Let me know if you've known this already. Next week, or whenever I do the next video, we're going to be moving on to the 4 most basic elements of mixing. So that is volume, panning, and then EQ and compression. Thanks for watching. If you're not already, obviously subscribe so you don't miss the next couple of Mixdown Mondays. But yeah, hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.